Good evening. Welcome to the Southbridge School Committee meeting Tuesday, June 18th at 2024 at 7 p.m. in the McKinnon Council Chambers. Thank you. A call to order. Welcome, everybody. Good to see everybody. Roll call.
Carla De La Cruz Davila.
Present.
Kathy Lapriori.
Present.
Erin Mello. Present. Martina Shea.
Present.
John Shaw.
Present.
Steve Kabinski.
Present.
Andrew Murch.
On his way. On his way. Surprisingly enough, in the middle of the summer, which this is, in Massachusetts, there's traffic. Okay, Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we've got a whole bunch of minutes that Miko has shared with us. Did you get one? I thought everybody had them, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll give you a minute to look them over. Any questions? Hearing none, we'll go on to the April 9th meeting. That's the one that Miko and I were going in two directions, and I take full blame for it not ending up where it should have. Any questions? Any changes? Okay. As you know, we are not allowed to even vote on our own minutes, but hopefully soon that will be over. Chairperson's announcements. Went to graduation. The rain held off. Unfortunately, some of the people did get up and leave a little bit early because it really did look like it was going to rain. But the valedictorian, Ms. Shanbaum, did the best speech I think I've ever heard. She just talked about their class and the troubles they had had going through COVID and when they came back, what a difference it was and how good it was to be back at Southbridge High School. And I cannot disagree with a word she said. We have, next July, we'll have one new member, Brittany, and we'll lose one member, Erin. So we will be having a reorganization meeting, which means we will be choosing a new chairman. We'll be choosing a new vice chairman. At that point, Lauren Wu and the acting commissioner have written to us saying that at that time they will talk to us about sending in this coach who's yet unknown. We did ask Dr. Villar if he knew who it was going to be, and he has no idea. So we will talk to them as soon as the reorganization meeting is over. I can guarantee you that whoever's chair will get in touch with them immediately. Summer vacation. I know Erin would like to say something at her closing remarks. So, Erin?
I just wanted to go through really quickly, remembering when I first started 3 years ago, and some of this is kind of for maybe Brittany's benefit as she's going to be starting new next month. I know we also have several other school committee members who are still relatively new in that this will be their second year coming up. And so I just wanted to say the next school committee meeting is July 9th, and I won't be a member anymore. Ms. Davison will officially be on the committee. But remembering how many questions I had at that point and how many times I called Martina, I asked Martina and Dr. Villar what they thought about my just sharing a quick overview, first of all, of the July meeting. And the July meeting is typically 2 meetings in a row, just back to back. The first meeting is the reorganization meeting, where we elect our new chair and vice chair for the year. The reorganization meeting is historically led by the senior ranking member of the school committee, which this year that would be Martina Shea. She'll accept nominations for chair first. So anyone can nominate someone as school committee chair. It would be wise to talk to that person ahead of time, though, and make sure that they're actually interested in the position. You would also need a second. So if there's another person who is nominated as well, they would also need a second. When all nominations have been received, there will be a roll call vote, either according to seating around the dais or in alphabetical order. Once the role of the chair is filled, nominations will be taken for vice chair. In making nominations for the role of vice chair, it would be good to keep in mind that this person will need to be able to work well with the chair. It's their main responsibility. Once the position of vice chair has been chosen, the reorg meeting is finished, and someone will make a motion to adjourn. During a short recess, the seating will be rearranged so that the new chair will be in the center with the new vice chair on their right, and then the rest of the committee can choose their own seats. After the reorganization section of the meeting, there's a regular school committee meeting. So we start over again, usually pledge allegiance and all of that again, as if it's a whole new meeting, even though it's only a few minutes later. Typically, we haven't had a lot of business at that second meeting because you have a brand new chair and vice chair who've just been elected and haven't had time to actually put together a plan or anything like that yet. So typically we just have announcements, things that are going on at the school, maybe vacancies that still need to be filled, things like that. I had actually thought that this year we needed to do a revote on the plan that we put together with the state at that point, since we would have a new committee member and stuff. And in chatting through that with Dr. Villar, he said that actually once the committee makes a decision like that, that decision stands. Even though committee members change, the committee itself still is committed to the decision that they made, unless they decide to take a new vote and head a different direction for some reason, which he mentioned was really helpful to think about, because as a committee, once we're an active committee, we would make lots of votes and lots of policies. We have a whole policy book, and imagine if you had to revote on all the policies every time you changed committee members. You know, that would be a serious problem. So the idea that once we've made a vote, it's good until we change our minds and vote something else. So that was actually something I just learned. So that second meeting then probably will primarily still be just announcements, unless the new chair has plans that I'm not aware of, which could be the case. So as Martina mentioned, the new chair and vice chair, the big thing will be after both of those meetings are over to communicate with Lauren Wu and let them know, hey, here's our new chair and vice chair, and start setting up that meeting to get together with the coach, because that's the big thing is for us to get this new plan going. And in order to get that new plan going, we need input from whoever this coach is to kind of give us some direction and guidance and all of that. However, even as we're getting that new plan going and putting that meeting together, I think all of us can go ahead and start meeting with Dr. Villar and meeting with town councilors and meeting with each other. We don't have to wait to get started on all of that, and probably the sooner we get started on some of those things, the easier all of this is going to be, and the more quickly we can make good progress. So just as a little side note, I'm not sure who the new committee leadership are going to be, but when they do put together that meeting with Lauren Wu and the new commissioner, or the commissioner, it is our responsibility as a school committee to reserve a room here at the town hall and actually facilitate that meeting. So that was something Martina and I kind of learned from the last time, was that they had kind of thought we were reserving, we thought they were reserving. So just a little note for us to keep in mind that that's probably, that's probably our responsibility. So we also would need to let the state know who our new townside politicians are, so that they know who else they should invite from the town, who the new, if the town council has a new chair, if the EHS committee has a new subcommittee chair, the town manager should be the same, but those were the people that we encouraged them to invite to the meeting as well, just so that the town would also be familiar with what we as a school committee were doing, so that hopefully we could work together with them as much as possible. So once that meeting takes place, we should have this coach that we keep talking about to work with the new chair and vice chair, and presumably that new coach would have suggestions moving on from there. But in case it takes longer to set all that up than it should, which sometimes things with the state, as we all know, take a little bit longer than we wish they did, I just wanted to mention, to encourage the committee to maybe learn from some of our past mistakes, and maybe in August to go ahead and lay out some school committee goals and some ways that we can try to achieve those goals. And I'm assuming the main focus would be the plan that the state has given us and building those relationships that are such a key part of the first phase of that plan. So one last note, I think it's taken me a long time to figure out the process of setting up the agenda. And that seems like such a basic thing for a committee to be able to set up an agenda. Like, how can you even have a meeting without an agenda? But for some reason, it's been kind of challenging for us to figure out how that's actually supposed to happen, especially under a receivership. There are just a lot of different authorities involved. And so, again, the coach may have some great suggestions for streamlining that process for us. But basically, at this point, I think the chair and I have discovered that it's really helpful for us to meet with Dr. Villar about 2 weeks before the next school committee meeting is scheduled. And that way we can discuss the agenda in a more collaborative, helpful way before giving it to Dawn Miko. And she's been the one who actually reserves the council chambers and gives the agenda to the town clerk to post. So I'm just saying all of this so that you know what all we've kind of learned, and hopefully don't have to relearn the same things the hard way, kind of like we did. And I've really learned a lot being on the committee the last 3 years, both about how our schools work and how our town works. I would really encourage others here in town that would consider serving on the school committee that it's a really good learning, growing experience. And I would encourage people who would be interested to go for it. So that's it.
Normally speaking, we've been told that we should not allow all of the members to have a moment to speak, but I think since this is a kind of a significant end of an era, that now we're going to be moving forward into doing our own thing, I thought I'd give everybody a minute to say whatever they would like to say about anything they would like to say. Keep it nice. Steve?
I am completely unprepared. My statement is short and sweet. I'm not sure what the only thing I could think of at the moment was basically to thank Erin for her service. I've only been here a year. She's a perceptive, intelligent person. I think she tries to do what's best for everyone involved, tries to weigh consequences and circumstances into her decision making, and change tactics upstream, midstream, low stream, whatever is necessary to make sure the goal's done well and properly. So we'll miss you. Thanks. Thank you for your service.
John?
I would like to say thank you for your presence and your presentation. I think that we have a group that can work together, and I think in doing so, we'll make progress probably a little bit faster than if everybody was on their own. I do think that we have a long way to go, but we have a long trail behind us that we can lean on.
Kathy?
I'll just say I think that we have a good group going forward, and hopefully we can all work together. And I also want to thank Erin. Thank you for your time and all your hard work that you've put into this.
Thank you.
Carla?
Yeah, I just wanted to echo what everyone's been saying. Like, thank you, and it was a pleasure meeting you. And congrats, Martina, for another 3 years. And congrats to Brittany, of course, for joining us next month. Happy to have her, and I'm ready for the challenge.
I think that's the perfect word. It's going to be a challenge. We're going to have to work hard, and I think our last meeting with Dr. Villar went pretty well. We asked him what he thought we should start with, because everybody, when we had that meeting downstairs, everybody seemed to have something different they wanted to work on, and he said he thought it would be best if we started at the beginning. So I think we can look forward to starting at the beginning. Oh, I forgot Citizens Forum. I'm sorry. Anybody out there want to say anything? The only reason we're laughing is because there's only 2 people. Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So
Steve?
moved.
Second?
First, second.
Okay.
Doesn't matter to me.
All in favor?